Like the saying goes, you always remember your first time. The Ragin' Cajuns certainly do, and who could forget? UL capped off a magical season last year with its first bowl in 41 years, thanks to a dramatic game-winning field goal as time expired. But this year's edition of Cajun football, a chance to relive that magic all over again in the same city it took over just 1 year ago.
That's what we're waiting for. Let's get ready to go, baby. Hey, don't leave anything on the field.
The Ragin' Cajuns back in the Big Easy for a second straight New Orleans Bowl. UL facing East Carolina, and as expected, the two high-octane offenses lit up the scoreboard. UL must have put on that pot of coffee bright and early for this 11 a.m. kick. Cajuns come roaring out the gate. Terrence Broadway's 12-yard burst on the opening drive makes it 7-0. UL shift to the second. The Cajuns take it to another level. Now 14-7. Terrence Broadway hooks up with Jamal Robinson for a 39-yard pass and catch. Harry Peoples caps it off with a 10-yard rushing touchdown. Blaine Goche, the senior, the hero from last year's bowl game, enters, goes 98 yards with a touchdown drive thanks in large part to this guy. Alonzo Harris rips off a 68-yard run for a touchdown. That's a bowl record in the New Orleans Bowl. The sophomore piles up 120 yards. Cajuns push their lead to 21 points. But before the party could get started for UL, ECU makes it interesting. Shane Carden connects with Danny Webster. Pirates go on a 24-3 run. We are knotted at 31 in the third. Louisiana would go back ahead thanks to some acrobatics by Javon Lawson. Somehow makes the catch and a show for the crowd there. That 14-yard pass and catch gives UL the 6-point lead. Santa, maybe a present right there for Javon Lawson from Santa. Now a 3-point game, ECU threatening, and Jamarlis Moten puts the squash. The Cajuns stiffen up with that interception, and that would give way to two late Brett Baer field goals. No nail-biter today. The Cajuns notch a second straight bowl win, 43-34 over East Carolina. Terrence Broadway, your MVP, while UL's 9-4 record identical to last year's. This season much different. Injuries, inconsistency, and off-the-field troubles plagued this team all fall, but the Cajuns used those lessons learned during the season to persevere after the Pirates rallied back.
They fall back into the game. I mean, there was times where we kind of hung our head, but then we picked it right back up because we knew there's plenty of games where we done came back or we done won in the last minute. So we just didn't stay down, man.
As a team, we do know how to overcome adversity. It was just another day at the office, as I can see. With the adversity that we was facing, when we was up, 28-7, and they came back and put it at 21-27. It was just something else, another hump that we had to overcome.
Terrence Broadway named the New Orleans Bowl MVP after another magnificent performance. The sophomore racked up 424 total yards and is the second most in bowl history, only to Blaine Goche's tally of 492 last year. He and Alonzo Harris also became the first duo on a team to rush for more than 100 yards in the New Orleans Bowl. While Terrence Broadway may have got that hardware in the Crescent City, the hero of last year's bowl game once again came up in the clutch and in the process set new standards for the Cajuns and the entire country. With Brett Baer's 3 field goals and 4 extra points, Baer now becomes UL's single-season field goal leader with 20, breaking John Revito's 35-year-old record. Baer was 1 point away from tying the single-season point record shared by Tyrell Finroy and Brian Mitchell. But here's the biggest of all. The 3 field goals qualified him for 50 attempts, and now at 40 of 50, he's now the NCAA's all-time most accurate kicker at a 90% clip. Records aside, his last-minute kick may not have had the dramatics as last year, but it still showed Baer's value to this year's team.
I try to go to every field goal thinking the same thing, but it definitely wasn't as much pressure. But I knew if I could make one more field goal in my career that it would ice that game, and that's just what I had on my mind.
On the court tonight, it's final exam time for Bob Merle and the UL men's basketball team. The Cajuns host Duquesne for their final tune-up before tackling the meat of the Sun Belt schedule starting next week at Arkansas State. Louisiana also trying to snap a 2-game skid that saw it have trouble from outside shooting. That not the case tonight. Sean Long, as he has all season, gets the Cajuns off to a very early hot start. The freshman buries the tray. The double-double machine gets 23 and 14. Cajuns pad their lead. Steven Ronkowski, nifty move to the hoop, but Duquesne would have an answer. The Dukes running the floor very well tonight. Jeremiah Jones, the finish on the other end off the fast break for the Dukes, and also forcing the Cajuns into mistakes. Casey Shepard has the ball stolen by Jerry Jones, one of 17 turnovers for UL. Cajuns went into the locker room down 5, but storm out after intermission. The Cajuns use a 14-4 run midway through the second to power past Duquesne, 91-79. Cajuns shoot 56% from the field and 50 from downtown. The UL women on the road today. The Cajuns back in Sun Belt play facing Arkansas State. Red Wolves were red hot today, and Andy Watson dials in from extra distance. She had 3 trifectas. A-State shoots a season-high 60% from the field. Kiki Beal would try to keep the Cajuns on pace. Deep trigger from the top of the key, buries the tray. She had 11 off the bench, but UL maybe a hangover after that huge win Wednesday over Tulane. Cajuns shoot just 30% for the game. Cajuns take it on the chin tonight in Jonesboro, 77-53. Back to the men, but now to Tigertown. LSU and Marquette in Milwaukee. Tigers going toe-to-toe with the Eagles early. Anthony Hickey reins in the 3, but Marquette seemed to have an answer every time LSU would get close. Jamil Wilson, his 3-pointer makes it a 6-point game. Marquette leads from start to finish. Tigers would get closest 3 points with 40 seconds left, but the Eagles shoot 24 of 25 from the free throw line this afternoon. Golden Eagles take down the Bayou Bengals 84-80. Also in New Orleans, the Hornets, their losing streak continues now at 11. They had a 22-point lead and saw that falling to the Pacers 81-75.
All right, Travis, thank you. Good